Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, BC Clark.
Well, hello. This is the Business Connection. I'm your host, BC Clark. And as you know, I interview business owners across the state, some out of state as well. But today my guest is Cherie Carter. Cherie is a business owner here locally in Omaha, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and let you know what the name of her business is. Welcome to the show, Cherie.
Thank you, Miss BC.
You're welcome.
My name is Miss Cherie Carter. I am the CEO, owner of Georgia's House of Hope. It is transitional living for women and men coming out of incarceration or some type of rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. I am also, I go into OPS schools and I speak about victim empathy with bans of bullying.
Okay. All right,
restorative justice.
Restorative justice. Okay.
Yes.
And so how long have you been doing this type of work?
I started in 2022, working on it in 2022.
Okay.
It is now 2025. We made it the first 3 years. Thank you, Jesus. We made it the first 3 years, which has been a struggle. Didn't know running a business would be so strenuous. So you see money going out, you never see it coming in at first. So that was a big thing for me. I'm like, well, when we're going to start doing
when do I start getting paid, huh?
Yeah, but we're a nonprofit organization. We're 501c3. So that's the good thing about that, because we get to experience a lot in our community.
Oh, yeah. So tell me a little bit. So what made you want to go into this? So because I always say there is always a story. Either when you're starting a business, it's all about it's about some cause that you're behind, or it's a problem that you want to solve. So what made you get into the transitional living for men and women?
Well, for me,
back into the reentry.
Yes, for me it was the life experiences I've had.
Okay.
I've dealt with both sides of the track. And what I mean by that is I speak their same language.
Okay.
I've been in their shoes. So I know what it is to come out and society shuns on you. And so do everybody else, the political side of it and the restorative side of it. I know what it takes, hard work and determination to redirect and redesign your thoughts, your mental capability, and then the trauma. I experienced a lot of trauma as a young woman, a young mother, and I took my family through a lot of trauma as well. So I decided that I wanted to give back to my community. I wanted to come in and spread my wings and just show them that, no matter where you've been or what you've done, it's always room for change and improvement. And, I just thank God that I was able to do it and be strong enough to do it and help others do it.
Yeah. I think the other thing too, and as you say that, I met you recently and really been impressed at your heart for this industry. And I think that the thing that it's really, really good is that because you have that awareness of what happens when you re-enter.
Yes.
It gave you that, I don't want anyone else to do this. I want people to know that there's always a way out, there's something better. And I think that as you were speaking that, I want to shine, but not so much for me, but I want to shine because I want to show the people that are coming back in the hope that they can have, but they have to change their mind.
Yes.
You know, and they have to be able to renew their mind to think differently than they thought before they went in.
Yes.
And that does take energy, hope, but also understanding them so that when they speak to you and say certain things, you can say, I understand exactly what you're saying because I've
Yes.
been there.
Speak that language.
You know, yes, speaking that language for them. And that's really incredibly important because a lot of organizations, a lot of times they don't have the experience behind it, but they do want to help. And there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times it takes them longer to get the trust or the confidence from people in that particular position because there's a trust factor there
Yes,
with them not
big
being able
trust
to relate. But when they're able to relate to someone who's been there, who've done that, then they can have a real conversation. And I think that's when they begin to open up and be able to be free to talk about what they're going through and why they're, you know, and about wanting to change. Because everybody that comes out doesn't automatically go right back in.
No.
They really come out with emphasis on, I want to change. A lot of them do, you know.
lot of
Some of them just haven't got there. But the ones that do, there has to be help, a resource for them where they can continue to stay on that positive, you know, foot and continue to grow and learn and begin to change, you know, and not think the way they thought before they went into the military.
For me, my breaking point was I lost a son to gang violence. He was 19 years old. And that right there, it actually took my soul. To lose a child is horrific. But then the mental health side of it, I was lost. I was confused. I was angry. I was sad. All the 6 core emotions that you could feel, I felt. What could I have said? What could I have did? If I hadn't have been here, then I could have been there, you know. And for that carried me a long time. And that's when I said, I have to change. I have to want it. And at that particular time, I became hungry and thirsty for it because
I think that has to happen too.
yes,
You know, you gotta want it.
you gotta want it.
'Cause you're fighting a tough battle.
You
so you have to
gotta
really
want it.
want to want
You
it. Yes.
gotta want it, and you gotta know your purpose. So where I started working with a nonprofit called Compassion in Action with Miss Tila Mickles, and I worked there for 4 years as an intern.
Oh man.
And it kept me so level and so grounded because I always had her in my ear.
Yeah.
And my faith in God, it wavered. It wavered because I, excuse me, felt like, you know, I trusted God and this happened to my child, which every mother will go through or every father who lose a child.
Yeah.
Their faith will waver, you know. I can't actually say no mother or father or anyone who has lost a child can say I really trusted God at this time. People say don't question God. I did. And so I had to learn to let go of that because I was punishing myself. And so when they say the mental health is real when you experience a tragic like that.
Yes.
But it also made me realize who I am and what I am and what God had planned for me.
Yes. What your
I
purpose
didn't
was.
know. I finally found my purpose. You can ask someone what their purpose is, and they'll probably say, well, I really don't know. You could have asked me this 5 years ago, and I probably would say, well, I don't know what it is. But, excuse me.
I have a class that's called The Power of Purpose.
Really?
It's and it's
You have to find your purpose.
oh yeah,
That's
you do. And
point
when it
blank.
starts from childhood too, and there's a lot of things you do in your childhood that really you don't know it, but it kind of signifies where you are headed to. But sometimes people don't explore it, you know. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. But you know, I think that this is really good. And then you're going into DCYC as well, working
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
youth as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. We do restorative justice, and what we do is healing circles.
Okay.
We go in and we find out the needs of the children, you know, pretty much. Our systematic is really broken. and so is our children.
Yeah.
So I go in and I usually work with the women, but I work with the young men
The
as
young
well. We
What
go
are the
in,
ages of the youth that you're in? They're in
most
high
of them,
school?
most of them is from 13 on up
Okay.
to 18.
Okay, 13, 18. Okay.
And some, you have some, I don't think none is in there that's 19. I think it's like 13 to 18. But most of them experienced a lot of trauma, a lot of insecurities of their self, low self-esteem,
Yeah, of course.
sex trafficking, and you can go on and on and on and
Yeah.
on. What we go in, and we don't go in to tell them what they need to do. We go into and listen to them, what their needs is. Me as being a grandmother and a mother, I'm nurturing when I go in.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know that they're valued, they're loved, and restorative. I give them what I didn't have. And so now I know how to give and what to give to them. I don't go in there shaking my finger, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I
That's
need you
good.
to tell me what you need, and then we can go from there and figure out how to help
How to
you.
help? Yeah. And the thing too, I think is I'm thinking about. I see the commercial with the kids on
Yes.
TV saying, we don't, we don't want to be locked up, because that doesn't help us,
That
and it
doesn't do
doesn't.
anything
No,
for
it
them
doesn't.
but make them more mad
Right.
and more.
Right. But I think that by what they're doing, like, because there's some that are in DCYC, but there's some that go to different things that they have to, commanded by the courts to go to certain things. And I think those are the ones that really start thriving, the ones, I mean, even when they have people like you coming into DCYC, that's those kids are getting real world knowledge,
Yes.
And for whatever it is, so hopefully by the time they get out, then they're, because I don't know if they're in there for a certain time or not, but at least when they get out, they have some hope and some resources where they can step right into that resource,
Right.
and not be left to wonder what their next step is, And I think that's where a lot of them get lost at, because when they come up with a lot of these programs now where they're taking kids in that age out of foster care and go into a particular facility, I think that now they have an opportunity now to, okay, I can get a job and I only have to pay this much while I'm at this facility, because I know some places that have taken in mothers with kids and also single ones. I think the single ones, they only take them in, for a shorter period of time while they can get in on their feet. But if they have a child or two, then, they can come in. I think they can stay there for like 2 years
Yes.
while they build up and try to get
Yes.
things going. And so, it's good to have that, because they would just be on the streets. And there would be no place for these kids, or they'd be homeless.
Yes.
So I really challenge and champion those type of organizations, and yours as well, because, you're doing both. You're looking at reentry, trying to rehabilitate the people that are coming in and give them hope.
The mothers and the
and
fathers.
resources. Yes. And a lot of them have kids that they wish
Yes.
they could see and all that. And so I think that it's a needed, this industry is so, they just don't have enough people.
They don't.
They don't have enough people that's
There's,
in it.
most
And
of them give up.
Yeah.
They give up because they get burnt out. They get tired, and they get tired of the same recital, shall I say. It's a recital. Oh, the data is this, the data is that.
Yeah.
Well, if the kids is not a data, these kids are hurting. These kids are in pain. These kids. And our program, what we're doing, we're also finna start a crisis stabilization, almost like an emergency shelter, but it'll be a little bit different, because we will help them program. We will skill build with them.
Good.
We will challenge them to be the best part of them, instead of just sticking them saying, hey, we're going to send you from DCYC to this foster care. Send them from DCYC to a foster care that's going to help them progress.
Yes.
Not someone that's just going to get a check. Not
yes.
someone that's just going to say,
gotta be
hey,
someone.
we'll house them until we can move them somewhere else. Help these kids.
Yeah.
Please
Don't
help
just,
these
yeah,
kids.
treat them like they're your kids.
Treat them like they're your kids. Hey, we get up, We brush our teeth. We wash our face. We take our daily shower.
Yep.
We start our day. We meditate with God. We put Him first, and then we go on to our curriculums.
Right, do the curriculum, and then even they can maybe work, for
Work
5-6 hours.
if they're
you know,
15,
if-
16.
yeah, they
we
can.
have them going to neighborhood, cutting grass.
Grass
We
and
had
stuff
one
like
little
that.
boy from the Step Up program. He cuts the grass. We got 3 kids that goes to the Bryan Center, and they clean up the areas,
in there,
and
yeah.
and it's just a
But you have to
beautiful-
give them something.
You got
you have to
to
build
give
skills.
them
They don't teach
something.
skills anymore in school.
No.
Like when I was going to school, and
Oh,
when I was going
man,
to
when
school,
we was
that's
going
how I
to
learned how to sew. My mother and my grandmother sewed, but and they would teach you stuff. But when I went and took
Yes.
sewing at school, oh my goodness, I was
Yes.
cutting up all the stuff.
Yes.
I was cutting up
Yes.
everything, making all kinds of
Yes.
things. And I think that it's unfortunate that they just don't offer these things anymore. Some of the schools might, but not all of them. And I think that the problem is that now they get out, and then there's a lot of jobs for skills, and people are saying, I need skill-based workers. Well, we're not teaching skill-based anymore. Kids used to go to shop.
Bryan Center,
They used to go to shop.
YMCA.
Yeah. And then, but we would do shop. I mean, there would be
Yeah.
shop. They learned how to
CETA.
make furniture and stuff in school. We learned how to cook in school. I mean, you may have learned it at home, but you learned some technical skills when you went to school and learned this stuff. And so, I mean, there's kids right now that are 25 years old don't know how to cook.
Don't know how to cook.
And I mean,
Don't even know how to bathe properly.
no, and I'm saying, they miss the mark when they say, oh, you got to do this curriculum. But however, that curriculum don't work for all the
doesn't
kids.
work for
because
all
it's
the
not reality in a lot of that stuff
not.
that they're trying to teach them. And the thing is that they leave out all the cultural history, and they just want the quote unquote American history, and that doesn't work.
Come on.
Because we didn't grow up all in American history like that. And they say, well, Latino culture and Black culture is all American history. It may be American history, but it's not American culture.
No, it's not.
And so
Absolutely.
our culture, we need to, we need to learn about all the people that they didn't tell us
speak
about.
their language. I
Yeah.
speak, the kids we deal with, we speak their language. We have cooking classes, we have art classes, we have, you want to be a photographer?
Yeah,
We
give 'em-
have
give 'em
people
some skills that
donated
they
us
can do.
cameras.
Yes.
Where we can take the kids. I don't care if it's a flower. If that's what you like to do, take pictures
Take
everywhere
them to
you
the
do
park.
that.
There's so much that happens in a park when it comes to pictures and the
Yes.
landscape and the downtown scape. I mean, there's so much.
Let our kids be kids.
Yes. Let them,
Let 'em
have
be
something that they can look
kids.
forward to.
And
It doesn't
we
have
wrap
to be
our
that-
arms around them.
Yeah, because everybody needs love. We got
They're
you get
valued.
that. Yeah, and they need to know that they're worth. They have a worth.
Yes.
No matter what they've done, they
Yes,
still
no
have
matter
worth.
what.
And no one can take that worth away from you.
Yes.
But a lot of times, because of the way people talk to you, you all of a sudden feel like you're not worth anything. But that's just, I would almost because
I
there's a
know.
life in the
know.
pits of hell. But the thing is that they have value, and we just have to make sure that we continue to mold them in that value.
Correct.
Making sure that they understand,
Correctly.
and giving them positive and not surrounding them with resources and with
Yes.
skills that they can feel confident that they can go out into the world and do what they need to do and continue to grow.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
So I
because
love
our
these
kids is not
organizations.
making it
No,
to even see
I know.
9.
Yeah, I know. And we have to.
And we got to do better as a community.
Yeah.
As a community, I feel like we fail our kids a lot because we're not getting in here and wrapping around, as we say, wrap around service. What I can't do, Miss
Somebody
BC,
else.
can
I
you
can
please come
yeah,
do?
absolutely.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with saying help thy neighbor? Because that's what it stands
That's what
for.
it is. That is what it stands
These are our children.
Yes. I mean, when we were growing up, the whole neighborhood took care of us.
The whole neighborhood.
And we didn't get to do nothing wrong without it because somebody was watching, and they would whip us. And
telling
when our
Miss
parents
Carter
came
on you,
home-
Pookie. I
honey,
be
when
like,
they came home,
okay.
when our parents came home, and on the way home, the neighbors already told them what we had done wrong, that they had already whipped us, and we got another whipping when
Yes,
our parents got
yes,
home
ma'am.
and got
Yes,
punished.
ma'am.
So, I think that's why I am the way I am. That's why you are the way you
Yes,
are.
ma'am.
We had structure that went all the way
Structure.
up. And unfortunately, not that it's any one person's fault. Things have changed. There's things that are sometimes beyond your control. As a parent, sometimes you're struggling so hard, you don't know what to do. You just give up,
Yes.
and that mental illness happens. But I think that as a community, we need to come together.
Yes,
Most
we
people don't
do.
know who their neighbors are in communities
No.
nowadays.
No.
You don't know. You
Absolutely
pass them and
not.
see them. You don't speak. You live in your house and they live in their house,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's happening over there. And all of a sudden you're surprised because all of a sudden you see an ambulance over there and somebody done killed somebody
Somebody didn't kill
because we didn't know them.
We didn't know.
And
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not just in one neighborhood; it's in all the neighborhoods.
All the neighborhoods.
All the neighborhoods.
There's not one left
No.
out. You can't
There's-
even say this
right.
neighborhood's always.
Yeah.
It's
It's all
of
the
them.
neighborhoods, and I don't care whether you have an HOA or not. The problem doesn't come in the street because you have a HOA.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that we have to come together, and things have to change because
Yes.
they can't continue the way they are.
No, they
And
can't.
we have people we have politicians and things like that that are
Oh,
going
yeah.
their way, and this everything is just weird. But anyway, I think that for our kids we have to make sure that we're there, that they know that we care,
Yes.
and that we want to see them be more than what they are.
Yes.
And that's where we come in to play with bringing in the programs, with bringing in the resources, and making sure that they're tucked in, and from one stage to the other somebody's there to hold on to them,
Yes.
and they have them till they get to that next level,
Yes.
and then somebody else. So it's a hand holding all the way through till they get to that age where they say, you know what, I think I'm ready to be on my
think
own
I'm
now.
ready.
Yes, and that we're thrilled about that.
Yes.
But we know they have the confidence to go out and do what they need to do without falling back into the system.
Yes.
And that's what our goal is, and that's what your goal is, and these
Yes.
organizations that are trying to even help people that's coming back into society. But first, our kids, they're
Yes.
first.
Our
We have to
kids
get
is
them on
first
the
and
right
foremost.
track. Yes. And then everybody else that's coming back into the society, yes, we want to have, resources for them as well. I think that it's just, we have a lot going on, but I thank God for the types of organizations, like Georgia's House of Hope. I mean, that's a real thing.
Yes.
Where people can go and get education. They can
Yes.
they can have time to, stop and breathe.
Yes.
While they have a place to live.
Yes.
As opposed to trying to live on the street and trying to
Yes.
breathe. They can't do both of those at the same time on the street.
I had one woman, she's been down 13 years, and no place would take her because of her violent history. And they called me, and I said, I'd take her. She's valued. She's worth it. 13 years. Don't you think she's paid her debt to society?
Was she on the street all that time?
No, she was actually, they had her holding inside of the facility
Okay.
until they found a
A place
place
that would take her.
that would take her.
Thank God.
And when they called me, I took her. And she has been, she has her ups, she has her down, because you got to remember, 13 years ago, this life wasn't what it is now. So when she comes out, a cell phone is like,
What do I do with this?
you know, they're more modern, more up to date. How do I
Everything.
work it? And-
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is job.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is they only give them 84 days to come to our transitional home. After that, it's done. So if in 84 days
don't
and
get a
nobody
job,
say, hey, I'll give you a job, then they're just jobless and they're homeless. I took this lady on the strength that she didn't pay us anything. We took her on the strength that we wanted to see her prosper.
Yeah.
We wanted to see her progress. We wanted to see her, walk by faith and not by eyesight. We'll take her and
Yes.
we'll work with her rent.
That's all she needs.
We will help her find a job. We partner with Metro Tech Community College, the 180 RAP program.
Yeah.
So she's been going there, learn the skill build, get a resume, things that she didn't have. And right now it's kind of tough because, her family, she wants to dive in and help family. You can't help
can't.
family if you can't help yourself.
Right.
And so that's one thing we teach is taking care of me.
Yeah. You have to
Taking
get to that
care
point.
of
Yeah.
me is so important.
Yeah, you got to stand on your own
And I
2 feet
learned
because
that,
yes,
yes.
you do. You have to be able
I
to stand
can't
on your own
help you,
2
Miss
feet.
BC,
No,
if I'm all over here in shambles.
no,
What can I
can't.
possibly do for you?
No. And I think families should understand that.
Yes,
You
and
know.
family should, but they don't. We all know how family can be.
Yeah.
They're selfish.
Yeah.
You know, and oh, I knew she was gonna mess up, and
And
I
they don't
knew
need that negative
that
talk to be around
negative
them.
around her.
Yeah, because a lot of times I think families don't want you to get better because of how they, want to treat people.
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
comes out, well, I hope you don't plan on doing what you did to get in there.
Yes.
And that's not necessary.
Oh,
The person is out.
Miss
You know?
BC, that is the big.
I know.
For me,
Yeah.
and I come from a 2-parent house, a praying Methodist, which my mother was, God fearing, never wore
Yeah.
pants, church Monday through Sunday. You know, I chose that path that I went on.
Sure.
And it was a path of utter destruction. I had trauma. I didn't know how to love me.
And that's important.
That's
we
the
just have like a
biggest.
minute and something left, but I tell you what, when you can't love yourself, you can't love
You
anyone else.
can't. It's absolutely not
You
happening.
can't. You can't. I think what's really important is that, like you said, you went in, you came up in a home where you had everything. you needed.
Everything.
But you know what? We all have to go on a path, and our path usually leads us to where God has us in our purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
So, when I think about that, everything, because I always say, somebody said, do you apologize for all things you did wrong? I was like, no. I said, because you know what? It made me who I am now.
Yes,
And not
ma'am.
only that, but now I have something to say. I have a testimony. I have something to say.
Yes,
when I'm
ma'am.
talking in front of a woman or something like that, I can say, you know what? I understand. I've been there. I've done that. I know what you mean. I understand how you felt. I understand when people put labels on you and you're walking around with those labels so heavy on you that you bent
Yes,
over like you're
yes,
100 years
yes.
old. So we have to do this again.
Yes, we do.
We have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
This is Miss Cherie Carter at Georgia's Home of Hope. And check out her website. It's
www.georgiashouseofhope.org.
.org. Check it out. And if you need assistance coming back into the reentry, if you're a youth and need help, please call Miss Georgia. What's your phone number? You got 3 seconds.
402
Quickly.
452 7869.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.